Hello everyone and welcome to another 2024 album recap video. I believe this is part 11. There'll probably be one more part after this before we get into our video breaking down all the kind of stats of like the genres of the album of the decades and things like that. So we probably have at least this one and probably one more shorter video after this to kind of wrap that up. But as always, there'll be links in the description to check out the previous parts of this kind of mini-series, as well as a list of all the albums I'm about to kind of just quickly recap with you. So let me pull up my list here. And again, this is the next 100 albums that I listened to in 2024. So first up, we started with The Beaches with Blame My Ex. After that, we moved into some surf rock, some classic surf rock with Drag City by Jan and Dean. After that, I listened to A Night in the Town by Rod Stewart. Following that was Robyn with Honey. After that, we have Soul to Soul with Keep On Movin'. Next up, after that, was Nick Smith with Stay. After that, I listened to Patsy Cline. The album is Showcase, also featuring the Jordanaires. I think Crazy's on that. That's a great one. After that, I listened to Frank by Amy Winehouse. I think that was her first album. Really good in ways, kind of rivals Back to Black. I think Back to Black kind of blew up and definitely takes away some stuff from Frank, but Frank is really good if you haven't heard it. I would highly recommend it. After that, I listened to Harmony by Three Dog Night. Next up was St. Vincent with Marry Me. I think that was the first time I listened to St. Vincent and really enjoyed it. After that, I listened to Night Ranger with Midnight Madness. I believe, what's it called? Motorin'? What's your price for flight? Whatever that's I think that's on there. Next up, back with some more ambient music. We have Harold Budd and Brian Eno with The Pearl. Then we just have, I think it was a compilation, but it was John Coltrane and Johnny Hartman. That was actually the name of the album as well, but just a good jazz record. After that, I listened to Movement by New Order. Next up, after that, was At Last by Etta James. Next up was Your Friend Brennan with Dream Hall. Following that was Janet Jackson with Janet. That was just a great album. The one, I think that's one that came out in 1993. Kind of definitely a huge kind of cornerstone of her kind of career is that album. That album is amazing. After that, I listened to Ill Communication by the Beastie Boys. Just a great album from them. It's got Sabotage on it, like Sure Shot. Just another solid entry from them. After that, I listened to Decemberunderground by AFI. Next, after that, was Rage Against the Machine with Renegades, which was a cover album. So like a lot of really good covers. And I think Zach De La Rocha did not want that album to come out. And I think the band was broken up by then. But didn't want it to come out, but came out. I'm glad it came out because there's a lot of great covers on there. Like The Ghost of Tom Joad is on that one, which is a Bruce Springsteen cover. And that is just an incredible song. After that, we have Slipknot with Volume 3, the Subliminal Verses. After that, we have Wu-Tang Clan with The W. It's a great album from them. Next, after that, was Horses by Patti Smith. Following that was Depeche Mode with Speak and Spell. Next up, we have Red Hot Chili Peppers with One Hot Minute. Not my favorite album from them, but there's a few solid entries. Like Aeroplane is a good one. I think My Friends is really good. It's kind of a weak follow-up, though, to I think the album that preceded it was Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic. And that's going to be a tough act to follow because like Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic is just an incredible album. I think this is the one that actually had Dave Navarro on it when he was with the band briefly. But One Hot Minute, not amazing, but kind of in the middle for Red Hot Chili Peppers albums. After that, we have The Cars with their self-titled album. Next up was OMA with Bread and Butter. After that, I listened to Animal by Kesha. Following that was Simple Pleasures by Bobby McFerrin. I think it has like Don't Worry, Be Happy on there. So that's kind of a classic from him. After that, I have Steppenwolf by Steppenwolf. Forget which tracks are actually on that one, but I remember liking it. After that, we have William Banksy, or Bansky, I guess, with shortwave music. Next up was Grow Up and Blow Away by Metric. I think that was like their third album, maybe, but I think it was recorded before anything else because it's kind of stripped back. It's more a little bit more basic in like its approach to like the songs. So I think at that point it was really only like Jimmy Shaw and Emily Haynes like working on that. And then I think that was probably before like they got like signed, or maybe they did get signed and they had this. I think they had to shelve the album for a couple of like cycles before they were able to put it out. This came out in 2007, but what I remember reading about it was actually predates a lot of their other stuff. But Grow Up and Blow Away is one of my favorite albums from them. After that, we have Four Tops with their self-titled album. Next up was Signed, Sealed, Delivered by Stevie Wonder. Next up was Live Through This by Hole. Just a great kind of mid 90s, like grunge rock album. Just great from them. After that, I had Highway to Hell by AC/DC. That's a classic. Another, like basically back to back classics here. We have Ace of Spades by Motorhead. After that was GNX by Kendrick Lamar. This kind of came out of nowhere last year, and one of his better albums, I would say. So that was GNX by Kendrick Lamar. Next up is The Age of Aquarius by The Fifth Dimension. After that, we have Butthole Surfers with Electric Larryland. So the big track on that album was Pepper. That was a kind of a big hit when that came out. Next up, I have Bibio with Phantom Brickworks LP2, which is like an ambient record, I believe. Next up, we have Jeff Buckley with Grace, just an amazing album from him. Next up was Sparkle and Fade by Everclear. I remember picking that up in 1995. I think it's part of like Columbia House or something like that. It has Santa Monica on it. That's probably, I think that was the only Everclear album that I owned, but Santa Monica was a pretty solid track when that came out. Next up was Joni Mitchell with Song to a Seagull. After that was Young, Gifted, and Black by Aretha Franklin. Next up, I had River of Time by Ralph Lunston. And then into some more jazz, we have Charlie Mingus, however you want to go with the Black Saint and the Sinner Lady. Next up, I had Zero by Aphex Twin. It's kind of great, like electronic album there. Next up was Young Americans by David Bowie. That's just a great album from him. Not one of my top albums, but like I think like Ziggy Stardust is probably like closer to the top, and a few others. But yeah, Young Americans has got some solid tracks on it. Like especially like the title track is amazing. After that, we had the Beach Boys with Smiley Smile. Next up was Aubrey Sellers with Far From Home. I first heard Aubrey Sellers, I think it was like in 2020, because I think she opened for Robert Earl Keen on one of his more recent tours. I've seen Robert Earl Keen, I think like 4 times total, and I think she was the opener for the third time that I saw him. After that, I have Mary Spender with Songbook Volume 1. She has a lot of great like music videos on YouTube, and then eventually released an album. So I really like that one. Next up was 4 by Beyonce. Following that is Guitar Town by Steve Earle. Just a great kind of outlaw country album. Next up was Gwen Stefani with Love Angel Music Baby. I believe that's the one that's got Hollerback Girl on it. After that was Collective Soul with Hints, Allegations, and Things Left Unsaid. Just a very solid album from them. I think it's got like The World That I Know and like one of their bigger albums, I would say. After that was Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye. Just a great kind of soul album there. After that, I had Potty Mouth by Bratmobile. Next, after that was Babes in Toyland with Fontel. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that correctly. Next up, from there, we're back to some more Foo Fighters with their Saint Cecilia EP. I didn't really do a lot of EPs last year, especially if they were on the shorter side. But I was basically just going through their entire library last year. So Saint Cecilia is pretty good. After that, I have the Animals with Animalization, I think is how it's pronounced. After that, we have Wovoka by Redbone. Next up was the Blues and the Abstract Truth. The Blues and the Abstract Truth by Oliver Nelson. Then we have Bananarama and their self-titled album. Just a solid pop record there. After that was Alice Cooper with School's Out. Next up was Frog Stomp by Silverchair, and I kind of ignored Silverchair when they kind of first came out in like the mid 90s, like 94, 95. I knew a couple songs when seeing videos on MTV, but I never really gave the album like a actual like listen, so I ended up listening to it last year, and it's a really good album. So yeah, that was Frog Stomp by Silverchair. After that, I have James Brown with Please, Please, Please. Following that was Bonnie Tyler with Faster Than the Speed of Night. After that was Dua Lipa with her self-titled album. I think Future Nostalgia is my favorite album from her, but her debut is pretty solid as well. After that was Meghan Trainor with Taking It Back. After that, we have some kind of old school hip hop with Houdini and their self-titled album. Next up was another self-titled album from Black Sabbath, just a great heavy metal album from them. And then, like, what do we have here? We have next up we have MJ Lenderman with Manning Fireworks. Kind of came out of nowhere, and I think it was. I don't know if it was nominated for a Grammy. Could have been. And there was some reason it made some kind of list last year that I decided to listen to everything on, and it was pretty good. After that was Future and Metro Boomin with We Don't Trust You. After that was hoping I'm going to pronounce this correctly. João Gilberto with Chenga des Sarud, I guess. After that is Linda Ronstadt with Heart Like a Wheel. Next up was Playing the Angel by Depeche Mode. I think that might be the one from 2005 that has Precious on it. I could be mistaken, but I think that's it. After that, we have Matangi by MIA. Good one there. Next up was the Hilverenbeek recordings by Biosphere. Okay, that was a mouthful. After that, we had Silver Side Up by Nickelback. Next up was Fear the Dark by Iron Maiden. Then we have Dawes with North Hills. I didn't know who Dawes was, and I think I was watching a podcast. I think it was Bill Maher and like Fred Durst, and they were talking about music. And Bill Maher mentioned this band Dawes, and I've listened to a few of their albums like since hearing about them on that podcast. So there's that. Like they have like a '70s kind of rock sound to them. They're really good. Definitely recommend checking them out. That's Dawes, which is Dawes. And that was their album North Hills, which I think was their debut. After that, I listened to Rio by Duran Duran, just a solid album from them. Next up was Hot, Cool, and Vicious by Salt and Pepper. So some kind of old school, kind of like female-led hip-hop. I'm always down to listen to Salt and Pepper, or Salt and Pepper, I should say. After that, we have Thomas Koner with Permafrost. I believe that was an ambient record. Next, after that, was Buck Owens and his Buckaroos with Open Up Your Heart. After that was Parallel Lines by Blondie. Just a great album from them. Next up was Britney Spears with Britney Jean. That was the first time I actually heard that one. After that was Tame Impala with Currents. That was a really good one. Next up was Pink Floyd with A Saucer Full of Secrets. I think I had listened to most of Pink Floyd's bigger albums by that time. I don't know how big Saucer Full of Secrets was, but it was overall pretty good. After that was Kuss with Blues for the Red Sun, which I did cover on last year's new album series. After that, we have Bjork with Post. Following that was Computer Games by George Clinton. Then I listened to Seam, that's how it's pronounced, I hope, or it's Seim. And the album was Quinquis, Quinquis. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Next, after that was Minnie Riperton with Perfect Angel. After that, I listened to Pinkerton by Weezer. Following that is First Band on the Moon by the Cardigans. Just a great album from them. It's got Loveful is on there, I believe. Next, after that was 50 Cent with Get Rich or Die Tryin'. After that was Kraftwerk with Autobahn, just a great classic album from them. And finally, an album 100, which I had heard many times, but it's always a good listen, is Whipped Cream and Other Delights by Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. It might be my favorite album from them as a group. A lot of great kind of just like jazz music from them, but Whipped Cream and Other Delights is probably my favorite. So that is going to do it for this video. Again, I'll leave a link in the description, or several links with all the previous episodes, as well as a list of all of the albums that I just mentioned here. So we probably have one more of these videos to go, and then we'll start doing our breakdown videos of like the genres and decades and all that. So that is going to do it for now. So remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you again next time. Thanks again for watching. Take care and have a good one. See ya.